Hi there, and welcome to the Canadian Adventure YouTube Hop. My crafty friends and I can't wait to share how we use the new O Canada bundle that's part of the Global Adventure Part-Tres collection from Catherine Pooler Designs. After you watch my video, make sure you subscribe and leave a comment along all the hop stops for your chance to be the lucky winner of a $50 gift card to the Catherine Pooler shop. Let's take an adventure in Canada with the O Canada bundle. This fun bundle is a celebration of Canadian icons, starting with images in the O Canada stamp set and dies. From hockey to maple syrup, it's got it all. Today, I'm giving you a glimpse at a few of the techniques that I used when I was creating these cards using products from the new O Canada bundle. So let's go and have a look. The new O Canada products include stamps and coordinating dies that, as you can see, are already pretty well loved, pattern papers to match with Catherine Pooler inks, and all the matching ink colors are listed on the front of the paper pad. And finally, there's a maple leaf stencil with a coordinating die that cuts the maple leaves and leaves an embossed impression. For my first card, I'm going to use the coffee mug image from the O Canada stamp set, and I'm going to stamp a set of 6 mugs in rainbow colors. And I took a 4 1/4 by 3-inch panel and I put it in the lower left corner of my MISTI, and I stamped the very first coffee mug image in the upper left hand corner of that panel. So once I stamped that, I now move the panel up about 1 1/4 so I have room for my next one. I wipe the ink off the stamp, I dry it with a microfiber towel to make sure I've got everything off it, and I can put the next color down and then stamp that image right underneath my first one, and I didn't have to move the stamp at all. Okay, once again, move the panel up 1 1/4 inch. I'm going to wipe the ink off of the coffee mug, dry it once again with my microfiber towel, and then I'm going to put the next color of ink on. Stamp the mug there, and now what I do is I'm going to take the panel off and I'm going to turn it upside down and put it back into the lower left hand corner of my MISTI. Wipe the ink off, dry it with my microfiber towel, and now these ones are going to be upside down, but once I die cut them it won't matter. Again, move it up 1 1/4 inch, wipe off the ink, dry it with my microfiber, and then I'm going to stamp the next mug. Move it up 1 1/4 inch, and now I can do my last color. Again, don't forget to take the ink off the stamp and dry it before you put your next color of ink on. Flip it over, and now I have 6 coffee mugs. Panel's done. I used the coordinating die to cut all my coffee cups out, and then I used some paper from the new Moose Crossings paper pack. And I adhered all my coffee mugs with some foam tape behind. And I grabbed one of the sentiments from the stamp set, but I did a little bit of stamp surgery. I cut the A off so that I could add that to the card, and so it's like coffee, eh? All the colors I used are in the description below. For my second card, I wanted to stamp the beaver, but I want to stamp him in 2 different colors, so I'm going to go ahead and create a mask. So using a piece of full back post-it note, I'm just going to stamp him off one time. It doesn't matter if it's a good impression, just enough so that I'll be able to see it when I'm trimming it. So I'll stamp the beaver, and then I'm going to peel off that post-it note, and I'm going to just use my scissors, and I'm going to cut the tail off. So really what I'm looking for is the shape around the bottom end of the bear and kind of up his back, so that I can go ahead and stamp his tail in a different color. So I created this mask, and now I'm going to go ahead and stamp the beaver onto my card front. It's actually a panel right now. So I'm stamping it once in over coffee, and then I'm going to slip the mask over top. So I just line it up. It's actually fairly easy to line up. And then I'm going to stamp some s'mores ink onto the tail as best I can. Just wipe it up a little bit. It's not really necessary because I have the mask. And then I gotta get in there, but I want to make sure that right where the Post-it tape meets my paper, that I get a really good impression, because sometimes you can get a little gap there, even though it seems like it's all one level. So there, I've got that, and then I'm just gonna peel the Post-it tape off. And there's my two-tone beaver. And see, another thing that I like about Catherine Pooler inks is that the longer they sit, the color as it dries, it kind of mellows out. And so the difference between the two colors becomes a lot more obvious. I'm just going to stamp the little eyes and the nose onto the beaver, also with the s'mores ink. And while I have my panel out, I'm going to stamp the maple syrup. I found spiced ink seemed to be the closest color to maple syrup to me. So I'm going to stamp that. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp the little maple leaf, and I'm going to stamp that in Rockin red. So I'm going to stamp the little maple leaf there. Red. I'm just going to set those aside, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp my two trees, two different sizes. And I'm going to stamp them first with the grass skirt ink, so the green ink. And then when I pull my Misty Door back, I'm going to take Deck the Halls and my sponge brush, and I'm just going to tap a little bit of the darker color near the base and kind of going up the one side. I stamp it again, and it starts giving it some really nice dimension. I die cut all the images with the coordinating dies and set them aside for finishing the card. And then I chose 2 pieces of paper from the Moose Crossings paper pack, and I created my background seat. I just freehanded the lines, and I have a panel to put my sentiment on, and I chose the You're Sweeter Than Maple Syrup from the O Canada stamp set, and I stamped that in s'mores ink. To finish coloring the beaver, I used Copic markers to color his belly, and then I took a pencil crayon in a similar shade to Over Coffee actually, and I used a pencil crayon to add a little bit of dimension. So I put a little bit down along his bottom, sort of up his back. I drew his ears in and just shaded a little bit just to give it a little bit more dimension. I apologize, it sort of slipped off the screen there a little bit, but I just wanted to show you how I finished out the beaver. After that, I took all the elements and put them together underneath the sentiment on the card front, and I added some of the Yukon Sequin mix down to the bottom, and that card is done. Thanks so much for joining me today on the Canadian Adventure YouTube Hop, and don't forget the next stop along the hop is linked in the description below for your chance to win a $50 gift certificate for the Catherine Pooler online shop. Have a great day.